Yesterday, like many days that will come into the future, it was a bizarre day in the Oval Office. Donald Trump, I mean, the crowning achievement of Donald Trump is that he's finally able to, as president of the United States, just name everything Trump. He's able to surround himself with these bootlicking, lapdog, sycophant cult members who just love and worship Donald Trump, who are giddy with delight at being able to read his posts like the Labor Secretary Lutnick did yesterday. But the most just sickening thing is this particular attempt to profit off of the presidency. To turn our country into, look, there's been this narrative for a long time in the Republican Party, and it really took upon steam when Ross Perot ran for office. I'm just a businessman. I'm a businessman. We need to run this country like a business. The government's not a business. It's not there to turn a profit. It's there to support the citizenry, we the people, to provide services, to make our country a better place, an easier place to live, to help lift up those who need assistance. It's not a business. It's just not a business. Even carrying debt, it's not like a household debt. That's not what it's about. And Donald Trump has now just brought into the fold a new generation of automatons who will believe that the government should be run as a business while he pilfers the treasury, while he allows the richest man in the world to loot the treasury. And he wants to invite others to the country to do the same. How do you get around immigration law, though, when there are rules around that and allowing people to come in? Well, what you do is you get rid of the EB-5 visa program, which has several specificities about who gets to come in and how much they invest and how many people they employ and all these rules around it. And Donald Trump, that's too complicated for me. I'm a dumb guy. Oh, all those details. Oh, no. What we're going to do is we're going to charge $5 million for the Trump Gold Card. Cha-cha-cha. We're going to call it the Trump Gold Card. And then anybody can come in. National security be damned. In fact, we're going to get to that because a reporter asks the natural extension question that you would ask, which is, so you're going to allow Russian oligarchs to come in? Literal national security threats? You're going to allow them to buy their way into the country? You will not be shocked by his answer. But watch this video of them announcing the Trump Gold Card. He turns it over to Howard Lutnick. And unrelated, not a serious concern, but look at the dog piss wet mop of freak hair that is just wispy and all over the place. And when they cut to Howard Lutnick, maybe we'll come back to it later. When they cut to Howard Lutnick and it's just him in frame, look over in the bottom corner where Donald Trump should be, and you'll see his wispy, he's not even in frame, and his fucking hair has a mind of its own. Watch this.
We're going to be doing something else that's going to be very, very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. Never been done before, anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks, Howard? Do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Sure.
Mr. President, are there any requirements for that gold card? Do you have to invest a certain amount of money in this country in order to qualify for that gold card?
Yeah, exactly.
So the EB-5 program was really, you lend some money, but it was full of nonsense, make-believe, and fraud, and it was a way to get a green card that was low priced. So the president said, rather than having this sort of ridiculous EB-5 program, we're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card, which is really a green card gold. So they'll be able to pay $5 million to the U.S. government.
It's really a green card, gold card, green card, lots of make-believe, lots of fraud, lots of nonsense. If there's so much nonsense, I say this all the time, if there's so much nonsense and so much make-believe, whatever that means, you wouldn't be able to point to just one thing, one instance, one piece of evidence, one slice of empirical data to show us your claim to be true. They don't do that because there is no, it's just the new thing they say. It's, oh, there's fraud. Oh, we're not going to cut Medicaid or Medicare except when there's fraud. And then all of a sudden, no, there's all kinds of fraud. We got to cut it. They don't provide anything as any evidence whatsoever. They just tell you there's fraud. And it's the same with this tight suit fitting dipshit, the Lutnick character. Did you see the hair? Throw that screen back up. We don't have to show sound, but we'll put a circle around it. Look at the little floaties. And so look, the EB-5, it's called the Immigrant Investor Program. The United States Customs and Immigration Service administers the EB-5 program. Under this program, investors and their spouses and unmarried children under 21 are eligible to apply for lawful permanent residence and become a green card holder if they make the necessary investment in a commercial enterprise in the United States and plan to create or preserve 10 permanent full-time jobs for qualified U.S. workers. This has been around since 1990. But apparently it's just so ripe with fraud that they have to get rid of it. And they, rather than just reform the program that they claim is filled with make-believe and fraud, they're going to rename it. They're going to get rid of that, and we're going to name it the Trump Gold Card. Because Donald Trump needs his stupid fucking name on everything. As his worshipful cult surrounds him, although even RFK Jr., the batshit worm-eaten brain RFK Jr. seemed a little uncomfortable with what was taking place. So the natural extension of this would be, well, who, just because you have money, Donald Trump said it many times, you're wealthy. Well, these are wealthy people. These are rich people. These are wealthy. We're going to have wealthy people here. These are successful people. We got enough rich people, Donald Trump. We don't need more. Enough with the lifting up of this myth of meritocracy. The reporter asked the natural question, which is, well, what about Russian oligarchs and dangerous characters? Are you going to allow them in? And you will not be shocked by Donald Trump's answer.
On that gold card, getting back to that, I'm fascinated by this, Mr. President.
You should be fascinated by it. Your taxes will go down to nothing.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. It's possible. They're not quite as wealthy as they used to be. They're not as wealthy as they used to be. I think they can afford $5 million.
So
no, a lot of people are going to want to. A lot of people are going to want to be in this country, and they'll be able to work and provide jobs and build companies and pay taxes. All of those things. It's an incredible thing. I mean, this is the group that is the first to hear it. Nobody's heard about it. Nobody ever thought about it. But we've been thinking about it very, very strongly over the last week. And I was going to announce it sometime next week, and I figured, why not? We have a lot of cameras blazing right now. We might as well do it now. We'll have Caroline announce it the next time. No, it's a great thing. The gold card. Remember the words, the gold card. Somebody said, can we call it the Trump gold card? I said, if it helps, use the name Trump. I'll give it to you for free.
I like President, you probably just launched 10,000 stories. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on what Russian oligarchs you know or don't know?
Isn't it interesting how many stories we do tell? And they all turn out to be true, and they all turn out to be ultimately correct. Trump was right about everything. Do you have one of those Trump was right about everything hats? I'm going to give it to this gentleman. Get me one of them.
I'll get to the Trump was right about everything hats. That's what the video that's coming. It's coming next. One, this is just a pet peeve of mine. I think it's gross and there's no dignity in it. It's a shameful display. Is that these grown men and women with immense power given to them, granted them by the office of the President of the United States, that unfortunately happens to be this fucking empty-headed goon, Donald Trump. They sit there and they cackle like morons at idiot statements made by this person. Lutnick can't contain his I mean, the button that's already ready to just give up the ghost and just spring forth and assassinate the president sitting behind the resolute desk, it's already strained. And his laughter isn't doing it any favors with this. Talking about, notice this, by the way, Howard Lutnick mentioned it a couple times that there will be background checks, they will be vetted, you know, we can, I'm sure, rest assured that they're going to be doing the right thing relative to national security since they put Tulsi Gabbard in as the director of national intelligence. But Donald Trump doesn't say anything about vetting. All he says is, I think they can afford it. And for him, that's the only metric that matters. If you can afford the $5 million for entry into the United States, nothing else matters. Anyway, gross, dangerous, perverse, disgusting, shameless, embarrassing for the American people. I apologize on behalf of America if you are outside of the United States wondering what in the hell is going on. We don't know either. Apparently, eggs were very expensive and it needed to be changed. Did it change? No, they're more expensive now than they were when Donald Trump took office. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can click below and comment. That would be fantastic. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054, or you can email me daily@dollemore.com. If I am your flavor of political commentator in this independent media space and you want to help support this independent media channel, click the join button below for $1.99. You can become a channel member, or you can subscribe. That's free. Fantastic. Or you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.